Hey, everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love would be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com on over 40 podcast platforms heard in 100 countries, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple Music. Also on HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, Oldies Radio, and a few networks coming soon. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok today. And for great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies, baseball gear. Makes great gift 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles. Also t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, phone cases, and more. Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia. Check it out today. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you give generously today. He's back by popular demand. He's an award-winning author with over 4 decades of counseling experience, including settings, also setting up some programs, cutting edge, and 30 years in private practice. His first book was a process, a way of life, and it's a step-by-step guide to basically transforming your life into a much more happier one, which simply you just fix it yourself. And he's got a new book which brings you out of the darkness and into a brilliant new world, and how feeding the anxiety demon is destroying a nation. And of course, all the stuff that's been happening. And of course, this is part of the Fix It Yourself series. The first book was simply, fix it yourself. And now the second one is simply basically just fixing the anxiety. So live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios along somewhere in the United States, the very multi-talented and backed by popular demand, ladies and gentlemen, the Mr. Fix It Yourself, Dr. Faust Ruggiero. Dr. Faust, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thanks for joining us once again.
Mike, thanks for having me back. It's always great to be with you.
Well, it's great to have you back as well, too. I had a great conversation about your amazing career. You're an award-winning author. You've had 4 decades of counseling experience as well, too, and setting up new programs, and 30 years in private practice. And your first book is basically a process, way of life, which is a step-by-step guide, which is basically the Fix It Yourself series as well, too. And now you've got a brand new one, which is basically a second book, which is almost like how feeding the anxiety demon is destroying a nation. Of course, all the stuff that's going on, Roe versus Wade, the Second Amendment. Of course, I got the pandemic and everything else. And, before we talk about your second book, once again, just very quickly, tell us how you first got started. It's been about a couple of years since we've done this.
Last time I was with you, I just put the Fix Yourself Handbook out, that first book in the series. And we were going over all the what was happening at that time. The pandemic had just hit. We were talking about how to deal with that and getting your emotions out of it. And, here we are now a couple of years later, second book's out, and, we're looking at the fallout from that. We decided what book are we going to put out second? How did we want this series to go? But anxiety came and just, bit into everyone. So I have a plan, and what I've used with my patients for 30 years. So we put it into a book. Now we've got the Fix Your Anxiety Handbook. So that's about ready to be released. Sometime later this month, early September, we should have that on the bookshelves.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, with the Fix It Yourself handbook as well, too, once again, what inspired you to, write the book, Fix It Yourself?
Well, you know what, Mike? Everyone looks outside themselves to find everything. Let's go over here. If I just get that over there, and this guy's bothering me, and that's what's hurting me. And I always tell people, get strong inside. Just look inside to see what has to be fixed, what has to be addressed. go there first. There's a wealth of power inside you. You just got to go get it. You got to learn how to go do that. That's all I'm showing people is how to go inside. You're inside yourself and get what you need.
And that's basically it too, as well, too. And of course, just going some of the chapters like, disengaging life's unhealthy routines, practical formula to fix your life. And of course, there's brutal honesty. And of course, there's always a big challenge when it comes to that.
Well, Mike, we all like to think we're honest people. We all say, give it to me straight. And the person gives it to us straight. And we don't like that too much. So I always tell people just, the facts are the facts. They're never going to change. You can rearrange them any way you want. In the end, if you got honest, it's going to work out. If you didn't, it's going to come back and bite you and you're going to go fix it anyway. So you might as well just get honest first.
And of course, do you think social media is also creating more dishonesty, or you think it's making people more transparent?
No, it has the appearance of transparency, but when you look at it, it's all a game and it's out there, and people are getting anxious and people aren't getting the facts. And media, we're in media. It strives on that first impression. Let me grab you, let me get the hook and let me bring you in. And it's the first report. It's news. It's the new piece of information. I always tell people, back up, let the first day or two play out, then see what's going in, and then come back and respond at that point. But you're right. It just takes people and just lights them up because that's what it's designed to do.
And of course, you've seen in lately as well too, like with the latest. It's like, I got the Roe versus Wade, got the Second Amendment, and number of shootings. What was like Buffalo, Uvalde, Chicago, and everything like that. Boy, it's just like it just keeps multiplying, multiplying, and multiplying. It's just like, when is this going to end, basically?
But you know what? Unfortunately, hate to be the guy saying this, I don't think it's going to. I think you're into what we're seeing right now. And it's not just these things that are happening. Our politicians are instigating things, okay, Roe versus Wade comes out. Typically the president, whoever that might have been at the time, this is, 2 or 3 administrations ago, might have come back and said, well, let's all look at this. He's going to try to calm the nation down. These people are riding the wave, and they're picking a side, and that's not going to help anyone. We somehow got to get back to the point where we listen to each other and we talk about things and we accept different perspectives. That's what builds the greater whole, but we're not doing that anymore. We're going at each other, and we're going at each other quick.
And of course, you also talked about in the book as well too. It's like you talked about slowing down the pace, trust the process, and everything else, and say, yeah, life's a journey too. So you just got to continue with all that, and taking through step by step, and how people go about it.
Again, you got to slow down, but you have to have your mind focused on wanting to do the right thing, and that takes a little time to get information. I don't know how everyone's going out there and just they get a little piece and then they're in the streets with a sign up and their fist in the air. That's not doing any good. We really got to be able to take our time, sit back and work together on things. And and you take something like Roe versus Wade. If you sit down and really look at it, it's not like both sides don't make good arguments, because they do. But we're at a point now where if someone doesn't get their way, boy, we react and we want to go after everyone in the world because it didn't come out the way we want it to come out. And I'm not just accusing the folks that are victims of Roe versus Wade. Now, I mean, this is everyone across the board in anything. When it doesn't go the way we want it to, we're angry, and there's our social media, and there's all that connectivity that just brings all this anger and anxiety to the surface. It's just the way we're reacting now.
And do you think when they did the Roe versus Wade, when they ruled it maybe 50 years ago, was still that same outrage? Do you think if it was on social media, it would have been like much bigger, or did people think much more rationally? Think about 50 years ago, you didn't have all the social media, the internet, and everything. It was just basically your newspaper, your radio, your TV, your magazine, of course, and of course cable was the cutting edge too back in the day.
And you're right. The way we have social media, this whole information system we have gets things out there real fast. 50 years ago, Roe versus Wade happens. People who didn't like it were outraged, but they kind of kept it, kind of a little lower key. But now everything ignites. We don't start with a match; we start with a bonfire these days, and it's because we get all the information so fast. So here we are reacting quickly. It's not going to help us, and I just fear that the violence is going to keep on going.
hmm and that's where your book, the Fix Your Anxiety Handbook, comes in. We'll talk about your book in just 1 minute. First, listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studio, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon, paperback, and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews, and Eve 11 enjoys by how its celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Girls Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, or for 40 podcast platforms. Also on HamiltonRadio.net, Diamonds FM, Oldies Radio, and more. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok today. For great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books, merchandise, and more. I'll support the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with award-winning author and over 4 decades of counseling experience, 30 years in private practice, Dr. Faust Ruggiero here on the Mike Wagner Show. And we talked about the Fix It Yourself Handbook. Now we'll go to Fix Your Anxiety. And, tell us about that. And the book was very successful. And then the second one as well, too. I mean, we're all looking forward to it.
I appreciate that, Mike. We started looking at what we wanted to do, and anxiety was obviously the next book in the series. And what I decided to do when I wrote it was not to present it as here I am, this guy with all the anxiety in me. Present it as a condition that people have, and that's why I keep calling it the anxiety beast in the book. And when I'm doing lectures, I want people to understand that this condition is not who you are. It is a condition you have, and there is a very viable way out of it. You just have to learn all about it, and then learn how to take the steps necessary to deal with it. And we're doing the interviews, we're doing the workshops and all those things, and people are starting to get the idea that this is not a hopeless thing they're going to have all their lives, that there is a way out of this anxiety, and you can feel a whole lot better about yourself and the world you're living in.
And of course, also starts off with the first chapter, the demon inside you, understanding the driving force, and maybe about that. And of course, there's demons inside, and of course, the understanding it, and best way to get rid of them, or at least shut them up.
Well, yeah, and the first step is understand is that this particular demon starts physical first. People get anxious and they start looking for the reason why they got anxious. It's this guy and that boss and this person who hurt me and the money thing and the bad marriage or whatever it may be. But really, it starts physically. And once you understand that, then you learn that the first thing you have to learn is to calm your body down, learn how to decelerate a little bit. And once you start doing that, you have a better chance at dealing with all these other things that are triggering the anxiety. But you got to learn how to deal with your body and calm that down first.
And of course, you also have the body to mind, mind to body, and everything else. And of course, you just got to learn how to get to know your anxiety monster as well, too. So it's just like just a bit about that, and the real beast. It's like what it is and how do you combat it.
Well, the key to understand, again, is that it's physical. It starts physical. It works its way then through your system. The next step is your emotions, and that gets you all over the place, so you can't think real well. Hit your intellect, and then by that point, you're thinking that things are hopeless. Again, it's very beatable. The book is written, this particular one, in 21 chapters. It deals with all different types of the way anxiety presents itself and all the things you can do step by step to get there. And if anyone has read anything I do, at the end of every chapter that I write in any book I write, I give all the steps that are necessary to deal with whatever that particular chapter is presenting. So it's not like you just get some information. You get all the steps at the end of the chapter. You read this, now do this, and you're going to start alleviating it. And I'm seeing people that they're now emailing me back and saying, my God, this works. I didn't think it was that simple to do. It's not simple, but it's doable. That's what you got to know. There's hope on this one.
And there's plenty of anxieties too, not just what's going on in the world. There's also money. There's also, with marriage, and there's also, like, say, with your job, or say with your kids and everything like that. Just a few step by steps, maybe some unusual anxieties that, people that email you about, maybe some unusual ones that, how do you combat?
Yeah, and there's, it's so many different types of triggers. It again itself is just, it's physical. It goes through the nervous system. There's so many things that trigger it, and once it triggers it, then it ignites, so to speak, and then it's hard to turn it off. And you're right. I get people coming back with all different kinds of triggers, and they say, well, that's where my anxiety is from. And if I can get that trigger out of the way, I'd be okay. And I say, no, you have anxiety. It'll be another trigger after that one. Let's get you to stop dealing with it the same way. And then whatever trigger comes along, you might get some anxiety initially, but it should not take off and then take over your life. That's what we want to get to.
And of course, many people have also dealt with the anxiety with, with the drugs out there, created by big pharma, and some also do it with the natural way too. So it's just like, with your ways, it's like you don't have to do all that, but some do it the natural way, some just go to a doctor too. So
yeah, and unfortunately, when you go to the docs and all the good pharmacological miracles that we have, they treat the symptoms, and that's the problem. And the problem when you treat the symptoms, the cause of it is still there. So you can kind of just ease it up a little bit with your medications and all those things. But you mentioned the pharmacological people; they're not just selling medications; they're selling a culture, and we have to understand that. We've now bitten into this idea that if we take the medications, we're all going to feel better. You will for a while, but whatever's causing your anxiety and how it manifests in your body is not going anywhere. You just covered it up. So what I'm doing is trying to get people past that point. Understand that, yeah, we have ways that you don't need after a while. You will not need to take those medications.
And of course, too, I've also heard too that you give them one medication, they give another medication to knock off the sides of that medication. So I've heard about that. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I have people that come in and they're on 5 or 6 medications.
Wow.
This one does this and that one does that. Well, now this is causing this, so we'll give you this. And by the time and the interesting thing, we talked about years ago, 50 years ago with Roe versus Wade, 40 years ago when I started practicing, maybe 5% of the people came in that were on medications. Now it's 80%. And
oh my gosh,
that stat alone tells you how far it's progressed. That we have a culture that is so reliant on medicines as they are. And when we have things like the book I've written, like things other people are doing like that can get you through this. The only difference is it's not a quick fix. You got to learn how to do it, and you got to do it every day. And if you do that, life changes.
And certainly did as well too. And of course, another thing you got coming up as well, that you also got the Fix Your Discrimination Handbook, which is also coming up as well too. Now, tell us more about that.
Well, that sounds like it's going to be our third book. We started with anxiety because we really got to get people to the point that they're calming down and doing some things to get themselves healthier in that regard. But we got a real division unity problem in this nation. And people, when I say discrimination, they think we're talking black and white. That's just one part of it. We discriminate against everything. If it's not the same way we see it, it's okay. That's fodder for going at them. Well, no, we want to understand that there are 2 types of discrimination. One is intellectual discrimination. It just says that something's different. When we get our emotions into it, now we start thinking about how we don't like it. And the first step we need for survival, the second step we don't. So I want people to understand how to separate that, the intellectual from the emotional aspects of it. And then I have what I'm going to put forth as a plan that we can begin to use as a nation that is hopefully going to get in the way of this monster that we've created. And we're going to get this book off the ground going. Once that's published and ready to go, I'll start writing. And hopefully this time next year, we're going to be sitting down and talking about the next book.
And we're certainly looking forward to as well too. And of course, we talked a couple of years ago, around the pandemic or so with your first book, and that it actually just really progressed and helped people a lot. When it comes to fixing the anxiety and fixing yourself and everything like that. It's just like, do you think it could have been done before that pandemic?
Well, I'll tell you, the pandemic is one of those things where you write a book like I wrote and people look at it and say, yeah, that's a good idea. Then the pandemic hit and they say, my God, this thing is way out. And they realized how emotional and just how, unreasonable they were getting. So that's where people, and they had the time, they were staying at home. So they were hearing the podcast, they were picking up the book, just as you and I were talking before, the pandemic was one of those things that, as far as I was concerned, just took off and said, hey, look at what I'm doing. And everyone grabbed it. So, sometimes you take something that looks like it's burning the house down and it's not.
And certainly is too. And where can we find all your books at, Dr. Faust?
You can just go to my website. I'm at, it's my name, www.faustruggiero.com. Everything I do about the books is there. Both books, there's excerpts, everything you need. You can buy them through links on the website. Everything about it's there. You can contact me if you have any questions. Everything is right there. There is a contact link. So stop by, see how you feel about everything.
All right, we'll certainly do so. And what else can we expect from you in 2022 and beyond?
Well, again, we're gonna develop the series. We're talking about doing things with depression and relationships, and as well as the discrimination book coming up next. We'll keep on doing that. We're gonna, I'm sure we're gonna do a lot of interviews. We're moving ahead, and television's coming into the picture, from what I understand, and all different kind of movements forward. So you might just, God willing, you might just get to see me around a while.
Oh, we'll certainly do so. I'm going to put that into practice. If I get stressed out, I'll simply say, okay, let's think it through, and we'll do step by step. We'll certainly do that. And we're looking forward to having you on again soon. And, just talk more about your book, Fix Your Discrimination, also beyond as well, too. So we're definitely looking forward to having you in the future, Dr. Faust.
It's been a pleasure, Mike. It always is.
It is, yes. And once again, we're with Dr. Faust Ruggiero here on the Mike Wagner Show. A very big thank you for your time, and always great to have you on, and just a quick chat to see how you're doing and everything. And once again, what's the website and how can people contact you? Where can they purchase your books at?
And again, FaustRuggiero.com is the website. Everything about all the books, everything. The website is dedicated solely to what I'm doing. Get a little bit of blur about me. I guess you gotta kind of have that on there too. But other than that, everything is about the books, and feel free to stop by. There's excerpts. If you like what you read, great. You might want to look into things. Contact me if you have any questions.
We'll certainly do so. Once again, a very big thank you for your time. You're always fantastic, and looking forward to having you again soon. Just keep us up to date, keep in touch. And I'm definitely looking forward to having you on when it comes to third book and beyond. And we wish you all best, and you definitely have a great future. Keep it up.
Same to you, Mike. Thanks.